So Homeless Left produced this section. We changed the name, right? So Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi funeral was today. Was it an accident? And we have a video, I believe, from African Stream, my good friend over there, Ahmed Cabello. I hope you're doing well. Love you, buddy. Put out by the Shadow of Ezra. Do you want to mention some of this stuff now, or do you want to read the tweet? What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's read the tweet first.
Okay.
So Iran's president Ebrahim Raisi, who just died in quotations in a helicopter crash, sought to unite the world against the new world order. He joined BRICS and strengthened his alliance with Russia, advocated for de-dollarization of nations across the world, supported Palestine over Zionism, promoted a look east strategy, and allied with Africa and Latin America. The last person who took this approach was a man named Muammar Gaddafi, who was taken out through warfare by NATO and Hillary Clinton. I added that part. Gaddafi wanted to build an African Union with its own gold-backed currency. BRICS is doing just that right now. Iran president on Nelson Mandela opposing genocide. This is important because we can see the connection and the humanity of part of this. Now, this is not a big piece on all the great things about Iran and the Iran president, but this little piece is important and what he thought of Nelson Mandela and opposing occupation and genocide. So let's check out.
Really quick question, though. Yeah. I think the question we're starting to ask ourselves, because there's a lot of people who have given analysis on this, people who understand Iranian politics better than we do, but we're still kind of questioning, is this an accident or a tragedy, an accident or a terrible tragedy, or is this something that was done on purpose? Was this something done by certain people? Now, I'm going to say this right off the bat before we watch this video. I feel a lot of when I see a lot of this stuff over here from Shadow Ezra, I don't necessarily believe in it. I don't believe it's true. It's like the people who thought that October 7th was done on purpose, so therefore it can manufacture consent for Israel to do what they want to do. I, along with people like Scott Ritter, believe that no, they got caught with their pants down, and they're just taking advantage of the situation as best they can. This, to me, seems like a lot what we heard from some of the rhetoric last week about the Slovenian president who was getting was the attempted assassination, the fact that he was pushing back against the WHO and their treaty and stuff, and they kind of aligned it with that. They're kind of mentioning all these things. I think this was a tragedy. It was an old helicopter. It was bad weather. I think this is an accident. I really do. That's just my personal opinions. Let's watch the video. What do you think out there, ladies and gentlemen, people watching at home, boys and girls, children of all ages? Was this an accident and just a bad tragedy, or was this done on purpose and they're taking this guy out? Everybody asked that question. Remember the Haiti president who wouldn't take the shots? Everybody's like, oh, they did away with him. And all of a sudden, the new interim president started getting shipments of the jab coming on over. People thought that's why he was wasted. There are issues you put over there, the BRICS situation. He wanted to. And these are the point. These are the things for me, kind of comparing him to Muammar Gaddafi. No, I mean, this guy was an Iranian president for, like many other Iranian presidents who felt the same way about a lot of these things here. The de-dollarization across the world. He sought to unite the world against a new world order. That's over the top, my personal opinion. Let's watch the video and then we'll have some comments after.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
آقای ماندلا و قهرمانان آفریقا که در مقابل استعمار ایستادگی کردند باید احترام بگذارم و یاد و نام آنها را گرامی بدارم. جمهوری اسلامی ایران به صورت قاطع از تلاش‌های موفق بریکس در راستای دلار زدایی، از روابط اقتصادی میان اعضا و همچنین استفاده از ارزهای ملی و تقویت سازوکارهای بریکس برای پرداخت و تسویه مالی حمایت می‌کند. تعامل حداکثری و تقویت سازوکارهای همکاری چند جانبه به خصوص با کشورهای مستقل در حال توسعه در کانون سیاست خارجی جمهوری اسلامی ایران قرار دارد. در همین راستا به دلیل موقعیت خاص ترانزیتی و با برخورداری از منابع گسترده انرژی و همچنین توان بالای علمی و مهندسی در حوزه‌های متنوع از جمله تولیدات صنعتی، فناوری، نانو و پزشکی، آمادگی خود را برای هر گونه همکاری، اقدام مشترک اقتصادی و سرمایه‌گذاری با کشورها اعلام می‌داریم. حضار محترم، در پایان مایلم اشاره کنم یکی از چالش‌های موجود در جهان جنوب تداوم سیاست‌های نجات پرستانه، ناامنی‌های برآمده از ظلم، اشغالگری، هژمونیسم، تروریسم دولتی بخصوص از سوی رژیم صهیونیستی است که نه تنها مردم فلسطین را از اعمال حق تعیین سرنوشت خود باز داشته بلکه حق توسعه را نیز از آنها سلب کرده است.
All right, give it to me, Matt, because I got my notes here and stuff. I'm still going to say some things because that was, once again, look, that was an argument for the fact that they say this is the reason why they took this guy out. And there were some people in the chat going, nope, not an accident, took him out. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're not in a court of law right this moment. We're not here to prove without a shadow of a doubt that it was an assassination. So let's just start with that.
Yeah.
With that said, I will say this. We need to understand that there's a pattern of behavior from the West right now.
Yeah.
They are doubling down on anybody who is standing up against this new world order. You said that was over the top before, but I'm saying that anybody that is on the side of BRICS right now is a threat to that, to the WEF, which is going all in right now. This is going to be the biggest war of the next 10 years here, is going to be who takes control of this globalization that's happening. Is it going to be WEF on one side, this globalist, or is it going to be BRICS? So anybody aligning with BRICS has a bullseye on their back. We're seeing it all around. Now, look, we covered Robert Fico, Serbian president, the assassination attempt. He clearly was standing with BRICS, clearly was against the WHO, which is the other.
It was against the Ukraine war. Yeah.
The Ukraine war, the WHO, the whole thing. And for the Palestinians. It's not, we can call it a coincidence, but the fact is that the reason these people have a bullseye on their back is because these globalists want to stop the formation of BRICS as whatever they can do to stop it. And that means keeping the dollar alive as long as possible. Yeah. How do you do that? You got to stop BRICS because they are actively putting this new petro yen together. It's going to be the new currency. There's not going to be a way around it. So these leaders they all have a bullseye on their back. Now, so can we prove right this moment that the helicopter was actually shot down and wasn't a fluke? We can't do that in this moment, but we can look at the pattern of behavior and say this only benefits the people pushing the WEF, the New World Order, the Agenda 2030. I don't think it's outrageous at all.
Okay, so here's my personal thoughts and opinions. If there is any reason to believe that it was an actual assassination by the West or the WHO, WEF, whatever, the global organ, the global, what's the good word? The global cabal.
The global cabal.
The global cabal is maybe President Raisi's relationship of getting closer with China and kind of leading over a good economy. In other words, they did well financially under Raisi. You know what I'm saying? Even in this event that he went to, I think they were opening up a river with Azerbaijan or a lake or something. They were doing some type of joint exercise, some form of peace and sharing water rights together. So maybe that would be one of the reasons other than that. But Iran, you know, my question would be, why Raisi? Why not Ahmadinejad? Why not all these other presidents? Because there was always an alliance with Russia. Right? Maybe we got a little close with China, but there was always an alliance with Russia for quite some time. There was always a hate against the U.S. and against Zionism since they removed the Shah from president from quite some time. So not a lot of these things aren't different. And once again, it's not like he did something equivalent to what Muammar Gaddafi was doing. Muammar Gaddafi was starting his own currency backed in gold, which was a threat to the U.S. dollar. The same kind of type of rhetoric or behavior from Iran has existed before Raisi. So, I mean, it does make me still think that this is an accident. It really did happen. Why were they using this old helicopter? Why were they transporting him when the weather was so bad? This is his own people there. You know what I'm saying? So I have a hard time saying that this was an actual assassination. I know it's out there. I know people are trying to provide evidence behind there. But really, to tell you the truth, the conditions aren't that different for me to say, oh, my God, this was an assassination. Not to diminish what Raisi did, because Raisi was a nationalist. He was a cleric. he was a good person. Now, listen, I've also mentioned the election that he had, the last election in Iran, was a little low. Wasn't a big turnout. I think there was people losing a lot of faith in the system in Iran. I can only say that by judging that last election. If you look at the numbers, kind of low. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to consider over here, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say I think it's an accident and a travesty. I don't know what your final thoughts are on it. You think it was an assassination or not?
I do. I'm leaning toward assassination.
All right, we're split here.
We are split.
We are split.
I have to double down on BRICS is the biggest threat right now to the global currency of the petrodollar, which is it's folding, man. I'm telling you, this is back when we were able to take out Gaddafi very easily, we had Saudi Arabia backing us. They no longer are strongman.
Yep.
So they're no longer.
We got to do it ourselves now.
We have to do it ourselves now. It's a little more we have to be a little more careful about it. And so you might ask, well, why didn't we do it sooner, or why don't we do these other ones? Look, we're getting scared. You can see this happen. You can see the fall of this empire. We're trying to hold on as long as possible. But yes, the BRICS is threatening with a new form of currency, and they might actually get away with it because it sounds like it's inevitable. At some point, the dollar is going to fall. How is it going to happen? Well, it looks like that the petro yen might take its place through BRICS, and anyone supporting that right now, again, I will say this again, they have a bullseye on their back, but there's too many of them now. You can't actually take all of them out. So we'll see what happens. But I'm telling you, this is I think the best theory to go on is that this definitely was deliberate. And I'll say this to end on. Whether it was or not, we know that Iranian officials right now are claiming that it was done by Israel. So we know that they are claiming that right now.
Yes, and that is predictably so, right? I would do the same thing, the same way the Americans in the West uses disaster capitalism to take advantage of any situation, any crisis. The Iranians got to do the same thing too. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this was Iran. I mean, this was Israel. Were they claiming space laser?
No, they're not claiming.
All right. I wonder what, because I did see space laser out there. And it's like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, where's it at again? It's the space laser. You got that clip ready or no? Play it when we come back from the break. We're going to take a quick break. Me and Mr. Weinglass here have a little bit of difference of opinion. Listen, I still kind of believe with the crux of your arguments too. BRICS is big. We don't have a lot of strongmen to take things out. There is a multipolar world now. China, Russia, the whole 9 yards. But like I said, for this particular situation, I still believe. And I'm saying, why did you use this old helicopter? Why were you transporting him in this weather? What are you, snods? Which is Italian-American for stupid.